Hello. It's Tanya Smith here, and I am losing my voice today. I've been a little under, so I apologize for that, but I think we can get through today anyway. We're going to be talking a little bit about an app that was formerly called Melon. It is now called Streamlabs Talk Studio. So I'm super excited that I get a chance to bring that to you tonight. I was also doing a little bit of coding, so I was I was off my game with the intro. But what's up? I know, fired up. That's what Roy said. And John knows what to do. Look, if you're new to this space, you won't know the deal. So I got to share with you what you're doing. So I am Tanya Smith, and this is actually Stream Like a Boss TV, but it's a special edition that we're calling Live Stream Summer School. So Live Stream Summer School, as you see scrolling across the screen up here, is a special series of live streams that I'm doing to teach you all about how to get more confident and comfortable with various parts of doing live video. So I am super thrilled that I get a chance to do this on a Monday because typically I'm live on Thursdays, and it has been interesting getting off my schedule because normally on Monday I'm doing a lot of like just general work. So I've been working on building out this new platform for all of my programs, and I just literally seconds before we went live found the code. Like I had a light bulb moment and went, that's the HTML code I need to add to this thing. So I'm excited. That's a win. Let me do this too and tell you I want to wish those of you, actually anybody, if you're in the States, I want to wish you a happy Juneteenth. Doesn't matter who you are, where you are, we all should be celebrating the idea of freedom in its many, many forms. So I'm super excited to be here. What's up, Valerie Harris I know. Wait, she said ready, and then Roy said, wait, this isn't Thursday? No, it's not. It's Monday. I know, it's crazy. Okay, so we're going to talk about Melon app, y'all, and a lot of you from last year, maybe it was a year before that, but I really, really turned a lot of people on to the Melon app because it's a live streaming platform that gives you the ability to be able to go live in a very simplistic way. And I'm going to share with you some of the things that I actually like about it, and I'm also going to share some things that I don't think are super great. But what I encourage you to do is if you're not already following the channel, I want you to like, follow, and subscribe. And also, if you're new to the space, type in hashtag newbie. I see some hashtag OGs that have already showed up in the feed, but if you're new to this, feel free to type in hashtag newbie. And for those of you who have been here for a minute and you've watched other shows, type in hashtag OG. Now, there's something I want to share with you all that I'm really excited about for this Thursday before we go in. And I'm going to share that really fast here. So let's do that. I'll get my coding stuff out of the way so y'all are not like having mind blown emojis. Let me move that. But I'm going to share with you what's coming up on Thursday because it's going to be super exciting. And Roy is going to be one of my very special, super exciting guests. So let me pop this thing up so you can see what I'm talking about. I'm really excited about this. So on Thursday, we're actually going to be hosting a panel. It's called The Beginner's Paradise. And what we're going to focus on are all things live streaming, especially if you're brand new or even if you've been doing this, but you need to up your game and you're trying to look for ways to improve. So these gentlemen right here have agreed to come and hang out with me. I am honored. I get to be the princess in the circle. So we got Dr. Elo in the house, DJ Strick, Roy Richardson, the tech troublemaker, and RK3, that's Robert Kennedy III. And all four of these gentlemen are amazing people, let alone live streamers. So I cannot wait for you to come back and join us at Livestream Summer School for the panel on this Thursday. To sign up and get alerts so you don't miss out, make sure you follow that link that you see scrolling up across the screen. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and encourage you. What's up, Carlos Tacos in the house? Look, I'm going to encourage you to make sure you do like, follow, and subscribe, but also to go get yourself a notepad and a pen. And if you've been looking, you've been trying to decide on which streaming platform is for you, now is a great time for you to ask questions. So if there's something I can help you with, the last couple of tutorials we did on our Mondays for the Streaming Summer School were Restream and StreamYard, and we still have several to go. As a matter of fact, I even have a special discount code from one of the brands that I'm going to be reviewing in the next few weeks. So be watching for that. If I find new discount codes, or if I can entice some of these brands to give me discount codes to share with you during the stream, I'll make sure I follow up and add those codes in the comment section or under the description so that I can make sure you see them, okay? So go grab yourself a favorite cup of hydration, whatever that might be for you, your notepad and your pen, and I'll see you back here in just a second so we can start talking about Melon app, which is now Streamlabs Talk Studio. I have to remind myself, new name. All right, see you in a second. Okay, folks, I'm going to go ahead and switch us on over to the screen so we can start talking about Streamlabs because there's a lot to talk about, but I'll cover highlights. How about that? And if you do have questions, please go ahead and add them to the comments, and I'll be watching so that I can make sure I cover those questions for you. Even if it's not related specifically to Streamlabs Talk Studio, if there's something I can assist with or point you in the right direction for, I'm happy to do so. Okay? All right. Let's switch on over to the shared screen, and I will show you right here. This is called Melon app. What I meant to do with this little handy dandy link here is to point you in the direction of Melon app. So I'm going to do that. Let's do, even though it's not called Melon anymore, I know, for those of you who are trying to remind me, I know. But it was called this when it first came out. And specifically, this was one of the apps that came out on AppSumo. I think now maybe it's been a couple of years. But what I really appreciated about it is a couple of things. One, Streamlabs, if you go to streamlabs.com, you'll actually find that it's not just the Streamlabs Talk Studio app that they have, but they have a lot of other products. So they were not new to the game. When they came out with Melon app, the focus of this app, this platform, was that they were trying to focus on more professional streamers versus gamers. And I'm not saying gamers aren't professional, but I mean in the business arena. So entrepreneurs, coaches, consultants, that type of thing. And so following kind of in the footsteps of platforms like StreamYard and Restream, I felt like Melon app was a lot more user friendly for me, and I could find features and things that I would actually use as someone who is promoting to other small businesses. So they are now really, really going all in on this idea of being an all-in-one live streaming software platform, which they always really were. But now they're starting to really emphasize that, which I suspect is part of the reason why they brand name change from Melon app to Streamlabs Talk Studio so that you know it's part of their suite of software. I kind of feel like that was the reasoning behind it. So if you actually go to streamlabs.com, you'll see a lot of different types of software here, but specifically if you go to Streamlabs Talk Studio, which you can find with my link that needs to be updated, it's going to take you into an account where you'll be able to see features, plans, and other things. My understanding now with their plans is that they really are trying to get you to take advantage of this $19 a month, what they call Streamlabs Ultra space. So it doesn't just come with the Streamlabs Talk Studio, but it also comes with these 8 creator apps. So notice if you don't already have an account, I want you to see that these are the things that are available to you. Now, many of you have the lifetime deal account, so I'll talk a little bit about that and kind of walk you through some of the things that have changed since we first invested in the lifetime deal. But, and I don't believe that any of these really come with, I didn't get that impression from my own account that any of these come with the account that we already have because it's a subscription account. But there are certain parts of this particular app that you'll see inside of, or this space, parts of these features that you'll see inside of the app itself. So I'm going to show you that right now. We'll switch over and I'm going to take you into Melon app. So let me do a bigger screen so that you can really see this. This is behind the scenes. And what I'll do is kind of give you a quick run through of the layout, the lay of the land. And I also want to talk a little bit about some differences between this platform and some of the other ones that we've reviewed and will review. But there are a lot of similarities. And when I say similarities, what I mean is that if you think about it, a lot of these streaming platforms have some of the same features. So you're going to see, for instance, the ability to record. You're going to see the ability to add multiple cameras because that's a hot thing now that all of them have that initially they didn't all have. You're going to see some other extra things inside of the Streamlabs Talk Studio. I hate that that name is so long because I have to think for a second instead of just saying Melon. But anyway, I will get over that. Okay, and if you do have questions, please ask them in the chat because I'm watching. Okay, so just like with any other streaming platform that we've talked about, you'll notice here that there's kind of a blank area, and this is what people will see. So this is the display. This is where people are going to go to actually see stuff, right? So when they come to watch your video live, whatever you have in this big giant box, just like with the other ones, is what they're going to see on screen. Now, something I want to do is to remove this little ticker here because it's really not relevant in this moment. But I'm going to also take you through a couple of these different features that you'll see here on the right. Before I do that, I'm going to pop myself up on stream so that you can see what this looks like. So when you initially sign up and you get into your account, remember whatever you have here is what people will see. So when you click on Show on Stream, and now I'm switching over to my other handy dandy cam. And this webcam will give us a different view since you're watching me a little bit bigger on the picture here inside of our eCam stream. So it's like that Inception thing again. I'm broadcasting on eCam, but I'm looking at the Melon app because I wanted to show you the back end. I wanted to show you truly what the dashboard looks like instead of just kind of saying, hey, here's what it is. Okay, so what we have here are a couple of different things very similar to the other platforms that we talked about, right? The first thing that we're going to look at right here is that you have the ability to be able to toggle into portrait mode. What does that mean? You may have noticed when we talked about Restream, that it also had the ability to actually switch between this mode, this horizontal mode, and vertical mode. And the beauty of this mode right here is that you have the chance to go ahead and record and create shorts, reels, TikToks, you name it, and to do so like with the click of a button versus having to go back and crop and resize your videos. So that's what we would use landscape, right, versus portrait mode for. So that is built inside of your app. The other thing that we have is an opportunity for you to switch out the different types of portrait mode, not portrait, but landscape mode windows that you see, meaning that you can actually make this window bigger or you can make it smaller. So if it's just you and you don't have any screen sharing going on, then you can do this very similar to what you could do inside of Restream. Okay, one other thing that I'm going to show you over here is that just like with the others, I'm going to share the differences in a second, but just like with the others, you have the ability to be able to create different folders and profiles. So if you're doing different types of video or you're working with different brands, then you can change the brand colors and the fonts and all the things like we've shown before. So I'll show you right here, for instance, if I wanted to go to this demo version or profile that I set up, it has a whole different set of colors and imagery. And speaking of imagery, this is where we're going to get into the differences that I would say probably make, I was going to say Melon, Streamlabs Talk Studio. This is what makes Streamlabs stand out a little bit more than some of the other platforms. So I do kind of like this idea that if you go over here on the right in the sidebar and you go to design, you now have options for built-in graphics. This probably has more built-in graphics than any of the other spaces or platforms that we can play in. And even though you can't see them all, I have to figure out where to go again because it's been a minute. I'll find it. But in here, you're able to upload your background, but you can also use the ones that they have available as well. So I've uploaded a few. There's some that are really cool that you can use for like Christmas time and holidays, right? Or if you want to show support, any type of reason that you might want to upload different spaces or graphics, you have that ability to be able to do so here. And you can upload them as PNGs or JPEGs. So these are not live backgrounds, meaning they don't have the animation thing going. They're static and just like still, okay? Now, they have added some that are animated. So you may have noticed when you first came in, you're probably like, well, Tanya, but you said they don't have animated. Well, they do, but I haven't seen the option for me to be able to upload GIFs or animated backgrounds here. So I'm going to show you, I just have to find it. Let me think about this for a second. Under styles, there we go. Under styles, they have multiple themes. So check this out. If you go to themes, right here, here's a whole set of 14 pages worth. And by the way, it's been 14 since I bought this thing, so I don't think they're really adding to it yet. But there's 14 pages worth of different types of themes. So you can change your theme on the click of a button. And you just go through and you can decide, okay, well, I want to have, let me put some text up so you can see what this looks like. Okay, so we'll do that, and that way you can kind of see what the designs look like. Let's add, I'm going to add my Melon app link, so we'll do that in case you need that. Although it's now not Melon app anymore. We're just going to add it for purposes of having this here because I wanted you to kind of see how it switches up. And this is something that is different. So when you're thinking about different streaming platforms, if you're someone who is really like, I don't want to go and pay for graphics to be designed, I don't want to spend a ton of time on Canva or other spaces doing this, I just want the option of being able to go click on a couple of buttons and switch up my scene for every show because I get bored easily. Maybe that's you. And if that's you, then this styles option gives you the ability to really switch it up. So when you go to view all themes, again, we can switch this up and see, notice now that it's giving us a whole different flavor. That is actually pretty cool. I kind of like this idea, and I'll go through and show you some of the other ones. Some of these have animation in them. This particular one does. I kind of like this one. And you can actually change the font to match up to whatever your particular favorite might be. So I'll just put that there. You can change up the style. So you have a little border right here. This one's a little bit more boxy. This one makes it round. You've got options to really create something creative. like you can change the fonts and all of this stuff. And I didn't have to go out and order or create graphics myself. I'm just using what they have in here. So that part is really interesting and intriguing to most people. And I wanted to point this out. This is different from most of the other streaming platforms that you might be used to because many of them don't give you this type of flexibility, and you're going to have to create your own graphics or go buy some. I do too, Valerie. I like this option because it just makes it quicker and easier it's sort of like changing clothes. And I know you, with Aging with Grace and Style, are a clothes hound. So you really understand the concept of design and the ability to be able to switch up based on your, how you're feeling in the moment, right? Is kind of neat. I think that's cool. Okay, here's something else I want to show you, and I'm just going to put it like Let's do one other one right there. Here's something else I want to show you about this, which I like too. Once you've done this, let's just say you've chosen something that you want to run with, and you click apply, then that's going to stick with you. So when you log out, you'll be able to continue to use this same theme that you last saved when you log back in. Okay. So that saves you a little bit of extra time as well. And you can do this for the multiple profiles. So if you're creating a folder for each of the brands, so if you want to create a folder for Valentine's Day because you're doing a Valentine's Day sale and you use the Valentine's Day theme, you can switch instead of going through and selecting all the different themes. You can just go switch your folder and you have that option. Now, here's something I'm going to show you that I don't necessarily love, but I want to show it to you anyway. Yeah, I know. So he is right. He's right. John says, at least Streamlabs Talk Studio tells you what it is and what it does. Melon is just a fruit. It's true. That's not wrong. You're not wrong. Okay, here's something I'm going to show you. Okay, I will pop. I don't want that yet. I want to go back to styles. I want to show you something in here. Yeah, Cheryl, it is. Isn't it cool? Because, I mean, you can really just change things up. I'm going to put something on that I actually like because this theme is okay. But you can really just, I mean, depending on the mood you're in, depending on the type of video you're doing. And here's one tip. This is a live stream tip in case you didn't know this. One tip is, you know how some of us tend to go live and use the same background all the time. Well, the streaming feeds like Facebook and LinkedIn and some of the others, they're more likely to actually show content that looks new and fresh. If it looks similar or looks like it's the same video, you want to kind of mix it up a little bit. So every now and then I will change my background or I'll change something about the scenery of the video. And so using something like this makes that really simple. Although to me, I'm probably pretty big on branding, and it's more important to me to have the brand be the focus versus having all the extra little things. So I would use this because it's slightly pink. It's slightly my pink, not quite, but it's kind of my pink. Let me show you what you can do too, by the way, while you're in here. You can actually use this button to go full screen if you needed to do that. Let me go ahead and click apply. We'll save that. So now here I am full screen. And if I wanted to go back out of full screen, I have that option as well. Okay, so that's playing around with some of the different graphics and playing around with the styles, as it's called, is a whole lot of fun. And I love that you're able to do so many different things with that. There are a couple of things I don't love. I'm not quite ready to show that yet, though. But I'm gonna say this is the part I love. Okay, you can also go into text. And here in text is where you're able to create the banner. So like I have this banner right here that says Melon App. This banner is something I created really quickly under banner. And if I wanted to create one for scrolling across the screen, a ticker, then I have the option of doing that. And remember, if you don't like the fonts, you can change the fonts under styles. That's where you're able to change that. Another thing that you're able to do, and this is cool because I'm going to show you all the cool stuff first. Let me get that out of the way. Teleprompter. So notice down here at the very bottom, you may not be able to see it unless I turn my little tiny photo off. So I'm going to do that for a second. Let's do that. Okay. So see down here at the very bottom, click there, right there. That's a teleprompter. So check that out. Like that's built into your live streaming platform. So if you wanted to create something that you just wanted to do a quick record on, or even if you wanted to go live and have a well thought out, well scripted intro, this would be an easy way for you to do that. So you are just going to click on add new. And let's just say testing out the teleprompter and inviting people to like and subscribe to my channel. Okay, so pretend that you have written your script, whatever that might be, and when you click on add, watch what happens. So you click add and it's here, and you can actually add multiples now, it looks like. So I'm going to click on show, and so now teleprompter. How cool is that? That's pretty awesome. So you can create really short scripts. It's not going to give you like a whole long 30-minute show or longer. It's not going to do that. But really quick hitter scripts that you want to put into the teleprompter are available right here. So I like that it gives us that option. How about that? All right. And I don't know the exact length, but you'll have to play around with that if you do decide to use the teleprompter. Let's see what else we got here. We can do a whole lot of different things to make this look good. So I've kind of shown you that. Let's go to video. If you're in videos, they have added some recent features that I do want to share with you. So first and foremost, I'm going to say that they do have a few videos already loaded. So if you click on show more, look how many there are. There's lots, lots and lots and lots and lots and lots. They have a lot of different countdown timers and little short transition style videos that you can use. So again, if you're looking for a way to save time and you don't want to go out and create your own or learn how to or buy some from someone else or outsource it, these countdown timers are pretty nifty, and there's a large variety of them. So, yeah, and this is a great question. Radiance by Redilia. No, it's still Melon, but with a new name. So what they're doing, Streamlabs Talk Studio has decided, hey, we want to show off the fact that we have a suite of software that is video related, not just the Talk Studio or not just the live stream platform that people knew as Melon. So it's still the same. It's just that they have given it a new name. They've adopted their actual company or broader name. But great question. Okay, so over here we've got all these different countdown timers, which I think, again, is really cool if you want to save a little bit of time. Yes, thank you so much, John, for putting that in the chat too for me. And then over here, here's something that's new that's been added. So I'm going to move, let's see how we can do this quickly. I want to move the overlay out of the way, so I'm going to get rid of that. And I also think I will get rid of, let's get rid of this text too, because something I want to show you. Now, I do not love, okay, let me say this right now, what I don't love. This is what I don't love. Notice how it is a bit cumbersome over here. So I want to give you kind of a differentiator. This is the differentiator. The differentiator is this. Y'all are noticing how I'm having to kind of figure out like where I want to go in the sidebar and the navigation because it's collapsible. So certain parts of it are collapsible and other parts are not. That's different if you've been watching my tutorials from StreamYard and Restream, which were very clear. They were not collapsible. You knew exactly, oh, I need to click this tab to go where I need to go. So that is one, that's number one of the things that I don't necessarily love about the layout. And I also feel that that particular complication is what made a lot of people reach out to me after they got the lifetime deal to say, I haven't used it because I haven't figured it out. So the layout is not as clean to me and apparently to some others as some of the other platforms. But we're going to work with it for purposes of showcasing this for you tonight. Okay, so here we go. And here's what I mean when I say collapsible. So watch this. So when I do this, and then there's a certain part where, oh, I can't even find it now. See, right now it's open, but you might have noticed a few minutes ago it closed. And I never know when the heck it's going to close or open. That's what I'm saying. Anyway, let's keep going. Okay, so the virtual background. This is what I wanted to show you that I think is new. And I actually am, I know it's new because they said that it's new. I saw that there was something in the news. If you look here, you now have the ability to be able to blur your background, apparently. Now, mine is not blurring. Let's see. Oh, because I need to enable virtual background. Let's move this text out of the way and play with it. Okay. This is the first time I played with it, so we're doing it like in real time, y'all. Let's go to video, and we're going to enable virtual background and see what we think. Okay. Green screen feature uses more GPU resources and works best on high-end computers. It's enabled on PCs and not for mobile browsers. Learn about it here. Okay, yeah, we're going to play with it anyway. So, yeah, I see what they mean. Notice how I'm slowing down. Yeah, and that's probably going to be you too, unless you have a super high-end, high-performance computer. So blur is available. See what else they got. There's a virtual background. Look, I don't really, and some of you know this, I'm not a big fan of using virtual backgrounds unless you have a true green screen to put up behind you. If you've got a real green screen and you've got great lighting, this looks way better. I do like their backgrounds. And because I do have a real green screen, I can see using this and playing with it a little bit. But there's your virtual backgrounds. So in case anybody was wondering, they do have that available too. That was fun. Okay, let's see what else we got. If you see something on here that you want me to play with to show you, let me know. Oh, this is something I wanted to. Oh, no worries. I love it. I love it. I'm glad you're here, healing our future. And John, exactly, you got to find a balance between your brand and a pattern interrupt. He is so right. And that's kind of what I was saying earlier in that, for me, the brand is most important. That is priority number one. But then every now and then, so let's do the 80-20 rule like we do for everything else. I want you to think about this because it will help you to have your videos get a little bit of a boost when you do something different. Most of my videos have a very similar brand. So most of my live streams every Thursday, I love my graphics and I use them robustly. I do. But every now and then, maybe that 20% of the time, I'm going to switch it up. That's where I love the whole enabling of virtual background options and how they have all these different themes here, because it's like putting on a whole new set of clothes, a new jacket or a dress or whatever you might be putting on for the day. Okay. Oh, and that was Dan. Okay, Dan. I'm like, who is that? That's not my Dan, but it is. All right. And don't get carried away with the fancy but unreadable fonts. John is right. So usually I would, in those different options that you saw on the themes, even as much as I love the creativity of all the different fonts, you do want to make sure you test drive what is legible. So yeah, some of the funky fonts like you last saw, like you see with this particular theme that we have, you can't see it right now because I don't have it up, but this theme with the whole pink going on, and then it's got Orbitron. I would never use an Orbitron font on my video because nobody's going to be able to read that. Instead, I would use something maybe like, let's see if we can put up words again so you can see what I'm talking about as far as difference. See how clear this is? You can read that. You know exactly what it's saying, right? You know exactly what the words are. You can't always read all these different fonts that they have in here under style. So he's right. Be careful about that and use something. You can test it and see what your audience says. Like, I don't know what those words are. And if they're looking at it from their mobile, it makes it even harder. So Orbitron is a no. But I think it's cool that they put it in here just for purposes of the demo so that you can see it. You can see the difference. Yes, I love it. Okay, well, well, now I get 2 likes for my friend Dan. I know, I love it. Okay. Hey, I will take my likes. I will. I used to be one of those women who would be like, if somebody gave you a compliment, I wouldn't say, I just say, oh yeah, thanks. Right now, I'm like, thank you. Like, I'll take all the compliments I can get. Oh, one quick thing I didn't share with you about this. This is cool and it is different. Notice that you can drag this around. That is not common for most of the different apps or streaming platforms. You can't do this. So I do like that you can move this around in different locations. So depending on what you're showing, you want to move it out of the way, but you still want the actual link or whatever it is to show. I do like that that's an option. And that is different. So we talked about differentiators, one of them being what? The graphics and the availability of built-in countdown timers and all kinds of things like that. The teleprompter is uniquely for them. And then this moving around of your title is also unique to them. There's not a lot of other streaming platforms of this at this level that do that. Now, Ecamm Live, you got full and total flexibility, right? But I'm talking about your StreamYard, your Restream, this particular one, which is no longer called Melon. It is now called Streamlabs Talk Studio. This is my old link, and I believe that Melon app still points to Streamlabs. Okay, so video, I showed you that. Let's see what else we can show you that will be really quick here. This is something that will help you in terms of understanding the whole ecosystem that is Streamlabs. Streamlabs, like I said, was already in existence before they introduced what used to be called Melon app, which is now this platform. They already existed. And so they already had things going on, especially for live streamers who are gamers. They had a lot of different widgets. They had this cloud bot. They had all of these apps that you see under apps were available before they ever had this platform. They just kind of halfway integrated them into this business focused or entrepreneurial style app. Now what you'll see is that these are still available, and I particularly like CloudBot because it allows you to be able to program a little mini chat bot that will watch for different comments and that will, share responses and put little reminders and alerts into your feed, right? So I do like that option. You do have to learn. Yeah, and that's the thing, John. So John is speaking exactly one of the things that I don't love about this. He said it's a shame that so many of the streaming platforms have all of the cool options. I added the word cool hidden under different tabs. I know. So all this stuff, right, that's available in here. And I know they're probably doing the best they can to try to figure out the navigation. But in my mind, it is very clunky. So if you're newer to live streaming, you might get frustrated. And that's the feedback that I've heard, is that people have gotten frustrated because they couldn't figure out exactly where they needed to go to do different things in here. So what I was going to also share about these apps is that if you click on this little square right up here with the dots, you're going to see even more now of Streamlabs products that they have available. So cross clipping to turn your Twitch and YouTube videos into short form clips, video editor, Willow is a link in bio tool. There's a lot of different things, even tipping and merchandise. If you want to sell your own, like I have Stream Like a Boss merch, you can have a store that you promote through Streamlabs. So there's lots and lots of different apps that belong now in the Streamlabs suite. And that is why they're ensuring that hey, this is Streamlabs too. Like, it's not working solo and alone. Okay, there's something I wanted to show you that's also another unique feature down here, and that is they have a react button. Now, this is kind of neat. You're not going to be able to hear it because I'm not doing this. I'm not set up that way, but if you're in Melon Streamlabs Talk Studio, if you're in the app and you want to play around with reacts, it gives you the ability to be able to, check that out, to do different sounds. I know, Roy, look, I bought it and I rarely use it. But I like that I have it for life and that I only paid, like $50 for it. So, and they actually brought the deal back at least one other time. So if it does come back again, I'll be shouting to the rooftops like, hey, anybody want a backup platform? Because I don't use this one as my primary or even secondary, but I do like having it as an app that's available in case I need it or want to play around with those different themes. I will tell you my number two reason that I'm not all in on it. I'll tell you that in a minute. Besides the fact that I think that this part over here is a little clunky and sometimes hard to navigate, there's one other thing that I definitely want to share with you, but I'm going to be choice and careful in my wording about it. I'll do that in a minute. Okay, so you can add a cam. You can share, so you can share your different, you can either share a screen or a video to stream, or you can share, you could just share another window. So like I've got multiple monitors. Here, I'll do this. I can do it this way. Let's just do this. I'll share, we'll share this other screen over here so you can kind of see the Inception thing, but I think it might be a little weird, so we'll see. Inception. So this is the screen that I'm looking at on camera right now. And what you have the ability to be able to do if you have different layouts that you want to create, move yourself around, make that window be the inner window. Just like any other streaming platform, y'all, you do have that capability. What you can't do, however, what you cannot do is you're not going to be able to choose your own. Yeah, I was going to get excited. Yeah, you can't move these windows to different spaces like you can now in StreamYard. You can have more flexibility and control of your layout. You don't get that. Even though you can move this little handy dandy banner around, that's the only thing that you can move. So you can't move your windows. So that's sad. That would be a plus if they were able to do that, I think. Okay, let me stop sharing in my screen share. You can share background audio. Yeah, I do like that they have some variants. So having some variations with the branding is useful too, says John. Okay, look, the other thing that you'll see on here, again, similar to all the other apps we've been talking about, is that you can record. So you can do record only if you just want to record yourself, or you can go live. And I believe that you can go live with a pre-recorded video now. Let me double check here. I think that seems to be the hot thing nowadays. So I'm just pretending that I'm going to go live somewhere. Oh, I don't want to go through all of that. Let's see. Okay, next stream information. I'm going to say just add that. There we go. Okay, proven. It works. So pre-recorded video is an option now. So the maximum of the pre-recorded video that you can actually include is 2 hours. So we have talked many times about the whole idea of pre-recorded versus live. And I will say this, as I always say, if you're doing live stream, my personal preference, and this is how you have to make the decision for yourself and for your business and what makes sense. My personal preference is that if I'm doing live streaming, I want to be there live to engage with the audience and to get the interaction like we're getting right now, right? But if you are in a pinch, and like I'm going to be in a pinch later this month because I've got stuff going on, you can always record and then upload your video to your stream, and just you can still get the streaming juice or boost, if you will, by uploading it in an app like what we just saw. So StreamYard has that, Restream has it, Melon has it. You can upload a pre-recorded video and then go ahead and schedule it to go out in a live feed at a certain date and time. Now, again, personal preference. So I'm going to say for me, when I do that, I like to let people know that's what's happening. Otherwise, it can backfire. Some of you know what I'm talking about. You've been to the evergreen webinars where they're like, hey, I'm really here with you. And they're telling you that, and you can clearly see that they're not physically there. They're not answering your questions. They're not naming your name. They're not acknowledging you. So when people feel that they're being lied to, or that you're being inauthentic and not genuine, that can chip away at credibility, which is why, for me, one of my values is authenticity and transparency. So if I'm going to be sharing a pre-recorded video, I will tell my community. And I usually will put a line in the description of the video to say, hey, I'm not there with you live, but I'll try to respond in the chat. Now, it's up to you. You got to make decisions for your own business based on what your value system is and based on what you believe is necessary for your customers and for your own strategy. But that's one of the things that I prefer to do, is to be truthful and honest. Yeah, he hates those looped webinars. I know. Girl, I know. Okay, so look, Erica Bates, who was my guest not that long ago, y'all. Go back in my YouTube playlist and you'll see her there. All for live streaming, but live streaming 5 times a week has made me tired. Now I'm down to 2 times a week. I get it. Hey, I'm at 1 time a week, except for live stream summer school, because we get to make those decisions for ourselves and our lifestyle and what's going on with us. And we can still be successful. I know you hear all the time, no, you've got to live stream every day, or you've got to upload a video every day. But I just won't subscribe to that. I'm going to do it the way that I need to do it. And it may be slower to get to a certain level, but it is important. Yes. And so Erica also says she is a fan of on-demand webinars. So that's what I mean when I say you've got to look at your own business, look at your audience and examine your audience and make decisions about how you want to do things. And the lucky part of this is that we get to do that. Okay, let's head back on over here. I'm going to wrap it up in just a second and show you a few more things in here. Okay, now that we know that they do have pre-recorded videos, that's excellent. Yay. I also noticed there was one thing I wanted to show you that I have not shown you. I have to think about what that is for a second. So the chat, if you were showcasing chat, just like with any of these spaces, you're going to be able to see all the feed, the comments over here, and you can pop them up on screen. So that's nothing new. That definitely is something that's doable. In design, we already went through that. You can add overlays. There's my handy dandy fancy one with them. Oh, that's what I wanted to show you. Okay. So when you look, this is cool. Another thing that's unique about this particular platform, okay, from others that are similar. The other thing I wanted to show you is that when you do use an intro and an outro, y'all know this. Okay, let me explain it. You know how when you go to an intro and it just cuts off? So you do an intro clip and you come on, and it's sort of like I did today because I was slipping. But you go live and then people see your face or whatever you're doing behind the scenes, and then you remember, oh, I need to click on my intro clip, because everybody's not as smooth as Ecamm can be. It's a fact. But what this allows you to do is you can select an automatic intro. Like you can tell it, hey, this is going to be my intro. So as soon as I click the live button, use this intro video. And you can do the same thing for your outro clip. So let me show you how that works, because this is pretty cool. I do like this feature. Okay. I know. Show some love. Thank you. Cheryl, yes, I get it. It does take a little practice to share your screen during live, but you can get to it if you just keep it up. Just practice. Okay, let me show you where this is. So here on our share screen again, notice how it has this little label. You may not be able to see it clearly, but at the very top, there's a little label that says intro. It's because I selected this video and said, hey, set this as my intro. And I can switch it up and say, I want something else. I don't want that particular one. I want you to use this countdown timer as my intro. So set that one as intro so that when I go live, the minute I click the go live button, this particular video is going to come on. And the same thing with the outro. If you set an automatic outro, right, then what it will do is it will automatically go into your outro. So it does a smooth fade in, fade out type of transition. And I do like that they thought enough to do that. Now, again, I say they thought enough, but they've been doing streaming forever because, again, they were working with gamers. It wasn't just professionals like you and I in the business space. So I love that they have really kind of integrated some of the things that people who stream love into this app. Now, I'm going to just share this and then I'm going to share a good thing because I like to do what I call the sandwich compliments. If I have something negative to say, I'm going to say something positive. So here's my negative, and I will say this and explain it. One of my negatives, and I hope this has changed, is that I did have some trouble with support. And we all know that customer service is what makes you stand out. So I had sent in, and StreamYard, Cheryl, I don't think that StreamYard has built-in intros. I didn't see that when we played around with StreamYard the other day. So you might need to check. They have a town hall every Sunday, and they have a very active Facebook group. It might be good to check in there and see, but I don't think so. But here's what I didn't love. The customer service folks, I was having issues at one point when I was trying to use this app a little bit more consistently and regularly as a backup. And I have been streaming for some time, as many of you know. So my live streams typically are pretty good quality. Even when my internet sucked, they still were decent quality. Well, at this time, my internet wasn't the greatest. I knew, but I could get decent quality on all the other platforms. And Melon was giving me the blues. Like it was really grainy and it was looking like it was 480p, even though I was on 1080. So I reached out to support and I asked for help. And somehow we were going back and forth and having communication for a hot minute. And then they just disappeared off the face of the earth. And I never heard back as to what the answer was or how to get help to fix the issue. That bothered me greatly. So I'm sharing that with you because I promised you I'd be honest. And so what I want to tell you is if you're using the platform and you need to get customer support, pay attention and see what you think. That was probably the deal breaker for me, and what made me stop using it consistently is I was irritated that I wasn't getting the help that I needed in order to continue to use the space, especially after I had promoted it so well and told other people to use it, and then I couldn't get the help that I needed. So that's something you're going to have to test out for yourself if you're using the platform. But we do all know that customer service can make or break a business. They've been around for some time, so my hope is that they will do well and continue to do well, and that they've improved that idea of supporting people and answering questions and being responsive. But yeah, that wasn't my favorite and best experience. So like John says, I bought it and returned it and I don't regret it. But there's a lot of people that did buy it and they do enjoy it. And John, you're right. That was the point of my conversation earlier, is don't pretend that you're live if you're not. It's not that I don't like on-demand videos, because I do. I think that they have a place. And I do like the idea of using pre-recorded videos in the live feed if it can give you the boost you want. But what I don't like is for people to be inauthentic and don't pretend and say one thing that you know is not the truth, because typically you're going to get caught. Typically the best plan of action is not to act as though you are, I'm right here and I'm answering your questions, when you know you're not. Now, exception. Here's an exception. Webinar Jam is a webinar platform, right? It's been around for a long time, and there are other platforms like it, but I want to give you a specific example of how this can work. I have pre-recorded webinars, and I'm going to be delivering one in the near future. I'm going to be doing one that I will host live a couple of times, and then I probably at some point will turn it into an evergreen webinar that people can access at their convenience, because that is important too, right? What I like about the option of their pre-recorded and their evergreen webinar, and some of the other webinar spaces will do this too, is that you can program it to send you a text. So if someone actually comments or they send a question in the Q&A box, I'm able to get that. If I'm at my child bassoon performance and somebody's watching my webinar, I can look on my phone and be like, oh, somebody just commented and asked a question, and I'll text them back, right, with a response. So I am there. I'm just not physically delivering the content. And I'm not going to say I'm here physically delivering the content. I'm just going to deliver the content and say, if you have questions, leave them in the Q&A box and I'll get back to you. So, yeah, and I love what you're saying. Don't abuse people's trust. It's easy to lose and hard to regain. That's the main point of what we were talking about earlier. Yeah, so on demand is great. Just be authentic and genuine with people. And the more you do that, the better off you'll be. That's my opinion. After having lived on this earth for quite a while. Okay. All right. So, yeah. And John says once a week consistently is better than every day for 2 weeks and then having a nervous breakdown. Yeah, I want to speak to that for a minute. Before I do that, if you have any questions about what is now called Streamlabs Talk Studio, don't hesitate to reach out and ask. I do think it is a worthwhile product. I hope that you'll look into it as a potential option if you like some of the features that we talked about. Again, some of the things that I think I'll highlight for you real quick here. I like the idea that you're able to do both the landscape and the portrait mode. And check this out. You can even move this if you're in that, right, in this portrait mode to be able to do reels and TikToks and all that other stuff. So I like that you can do that. I love that the ability for you to be able to use different types of backgrounds and themes that are built in. I also like the idea that they have all of these different countdown timers and other things that they can include, right, that are built right into the app itself, so you don't have to go anywhere to find them, especially if you're new. That could be a thing. That could be a win for you. I like that you have the ability to be able to upload different backgrounds of your choice if you don't want to use theirs. So there are lots of things that I do like about it. You're going to have to play around with this one and see for yourself. And what I don't like, particularly, the most important thing I don't like is at some point over here, yeah, there we go. I was going to say, at some point it's going to collapse. And then you got to figure out, wait a minute, it collapsed. How do I open that back up again? That, I think, may be a bit of a design flaw in my mind for people who are newer and trying to figure out the layout. So just be mindful of that. If that is an issue for you and you really want something that's easier to navigate, I think StreamYard and Restream have a pretty solid design, and it's more efficient to figure out where you want to go. Personal opinion, but I get to do that because, hey, I'm sharing. You might have a different opinion. Okay. There's a hot conversation going on about this live versus pre-recorded up in here. Let's see. So Erica says, I love on-demand webinars, so convenient for both parties. So she loves it because on-demand makes sense for her lifestyle and for people who are, wanting to watch at their own convenience. Yes, I think there's a place for both live and on-demand. I think that if you can create a good variety of both types of content, you'll be in great shape. And I am indeed going to do live webinars for my Get Noticed and Get Paid with Video webinar. When that comes out, it's going to be live initially because I want the boost of energy that I love to get from audiences like you. But I'm going to then convert that into an on-demand evergreen webinar because I want people to be able to get it if they're up at 3:00 in the morning or if they're on the other side of the world, like my friend John, who's in Australia, right? So I think there is benefit to both. You just have to decide what works best for you. And Trina says, is there some type of, what's up, Trina? Trina Newbie in the house. Is there some type of statistic that say people listen to live webinars more than they do pre-recorded? I don't know that there's a stat that I'm familiar with on that. I'm sure there is something somewhere, Trina. I really honestly may have made the personal decision that, given my experience, a decade and a half of doing telesummits and all kinds of multimedia conferences, there is benefit and joy to doing both for me. And I think that if anyone is seeking to leverage the full power of multimedia style content, the best way to leverage it and get the full benefit is to have variety. So I don't want to have all live streams all the time, nor do I want to have all uploaded on demand all the time. I think having both gives you more ability to be able to reach different types of audiences, depending on where they are and what they need and want, and depending on your niche. So it's all about making sure that you're experimenting and researching your niche. I love that you asked that question. But what does your audience want? When do they want to watch? And is that at the best time for you to be at your best? Right? Because I know that there are stats, for instance, that will tell you you should post such and such on social media at such and such time, and you should do videos at this time. But then I learned quickly from my own health perspective that some of the times that they were throwing out there, yeah, I'm not even going to be in a good mood because I don't talk to people at that time of day. Or I'm working, or I'm picking up kids, or I'm chilling because that's my chill time. So I feel like you have the opportunity as a business owner, we all do, and this is what I love about being an entrepreneur, to experiment and to test and to create content that makes us feel joy, like my friend M. Shannon Hernandez always says. And also you have the ability to be able to create different types of content for different purposes. So the on-demand and the live, that combo 1-2 punch, to me, that's the win. Yeah, I know. And oops, pop that back up there again. Roy said, not everyone likes live streams, which means they are missing out on the experience and the energy. It's true, right? And what I have noticed, and this is me telling on myself, I have done live streaming primarily on my YouTube channel, which has made my channel grow slower than those who use uploaded and pre-recorded videos. And I've been okay with that. I have made a decision more recently because I understand the game, right? And you can't hate the player, right? You can't hate the game either. You just decide if you want to play or not. I understand that I need to create more uploaded, pre-recorded videos on demand, or VODs as they are sometimes called. It's not going to make me give up my friendliness and love for live streaming, but I understand the power of converting people where they are and based on what they love too. It can't just be all what I love. It's got to also be a mix of, okay, my audience, what do they want from me? And how can I give that to them and still feel joy and happiness about how I'm delivering the content? And so the answer to that is going to be different for each and every one of us. And I think that's powerful. Let's see. Yeah, and you could do that too, John. You could play a pre-recorded video manually at the start of your stream. So look, I did that. For those of you who saw my studio tour, that's exactly, well, I kind of did it a little bit backwards. What I did was I jumped on live. I introduced that I was going to be doing a studio walkthrough, and then I played the pre-recorded video. And while the pre-recorded video was running, I was in the chat and responding to people and sharing QR codes for the gear. And then at the end, I came back in live and said, hey, I hope you enjoyed it. Did anybody have questions? Let's talk about what you saw in the pre-recorded 17-minute video. So that was a lot of fun, mixing it up. I think there's just so many ways that you can do it. And yes, Roy, I agree. Having a mix is a better strategy, but I take too long to edit videos. This is where you and I see eye to eye. That's exactly why it's taking me so long. Look, if you forgot to like this video, if you're getting something of value and you have for the past amount of time that you've been here, please remember to like the video. And don't forget to follow the channel. I have had a good time sharing Streamlabs Talk Studio with you. I hope you'll continue to explore this and other platforms that will make sense for you. We do have a couple more that we need to cover over the coming months for live stream summer school. Let me pop up that link again so that you can see the link. I think it's here. There we go. We have a couple of other ones, but next week, not even next week, y'all. It's Thursday. Thursday is a very important day because it's the first of 2 live stream panels, and I don't want you to forget this. Thank you, Cheryl. Thank you for the like. I love it. Look, I got to put up some confetti and stuff. There we go. Thank you, Cheryl. I see a question mark. Okay, a question. I'm going to answer that for you, John. Before I do that, let me remind folks to make sure you join me this Thursday. Because this Thursday, now let's go back to live stream summer school. This Thursday, we're going to be hosting these amazing gentlemen, Dr. Ephraim Lopez, DJ Strick, Roy Richardson, also known as the Tech Troublemaker. You can see him right here in the comments. And then RK3, Robert Kennedy III. I am so excited that you're going to get a chance to hear straight from their mouths how they got started, what are some of the pros and cons of live streaming, what are some of the mistakes that people make that need to be corrected, all of that. We're going to have just a lot of fun playing around with this. Okay, let me answer this question. Did you get those extra programs as part of the AppSumo deal, or do you have to upgrade? So, John, I think you're saying the programs, meaning the apps that they had in the sidebar. If that is it, confirm for me. And if so, those apps actually came with a lifetime deal, but I don't know for sure if now it comes with their current pricing. So you're going to want to check out the pricing page and see if that's included in their features, or I can find out for you and get back to you. I can do that. Thank you, Trina. Yes, I am really super, like 100 times super excited that we're going to get to meet these gentlemen. So please come back and watch on Thursday and hang out and bring your questions and bring your popcorn, because we're just going to have fun. This is such a fun and very informational, informative group. These are knowledgeable men who can really talk about all things live streaming. And Tech Troublemaker, I plan to watch that episode. No, you plan to be in the house, sir. You're going to be on the stage. So I cannot wait for you to be here. And then next month, we're going to have another panel where we're going to talk about all things gear. So I'm very excited about this live stream summer school idea. If you have not yet signed up, make sure you go to livestreamsummerschool.com and get registered so that you do not miss out on the alerts and reminders whenever we have another class or tutorial. This is so much fun for me to do, and it's free. So you don't have any excuses for not coming. It's not like, hey, I want my refund. I don't know. Some of y'all might want a refund, but thank you, Erica. This has been fun. Look, it all came together. I had the idea for live stream summer school, and then I ended up having a beach. I was going to do a beach cafe. I do have the beach cafe ready, but y'all, it's been kind of a grueling week. Starting with the weekend, I won't go into that, but I just really need to go relax a little bit afterwards. And then I will see you again on Thursday, because Thursday is going to be so much fun. Y'all don't miss it. Come back and hang out. Yes, and Roy is saying it. DJ Doc, look, all of them, awesome. You're going to have to meet RK3, and once you do, y'all are going to be brothers for life. All 4 of you are family to me, so I'm excited that we get to chat. Okay, folks, that's it. If you do have questions, though, about anything that we've talked about in tonight's show or the other tutorials, you know I'm here for you. Just remember to click that subscribe button. Remember to make sure that you follow and go and sign up for livestreamsummerschool.com so that you get alerts when we are going live in the summer. All right, take care and have a very blessed rest of the evening or morning, depending on where you are. And I will see you next time in the stream.